Is the collective session 72. Our last session was session 71, if you know how to count backwards, on December 4th of 2022. It's now the new year and a new session. Our session summary was provided today by Siggins. Thank you very much, Siggins, for your contribution. Let me find this. Open this up real quick. Okay, so this one's a little brief, but that is okay. We're going to know what happened. So the events of the previous session are as follows. The collective continued to make their way through this mysterious monochromatic manner to restore what little color they could find in the form of the strange arcane sigils that they had been discovering throughout these rooms. Moving through the strewn about pieces of parchment adorned with ominous phrases written in a thick ichorous ink, the party opened the third door in the broken atrium, and inside they found that the room was a mess of large stacks of parchment with holes in the floor descending further than the eye could see. And the room hung thick with the smell of iron in the air. DeLorean, to test the depth of the holes in the ground, dropped a stone down one of the pits, which disappeared and then soon afterward shot upwards at an immense speed from one of the other holes in the room, clanking around the ceiling and then coming to a stop echolessly upon the stone floor. His curiosity thoroughly piqued, he repeated his experiment with yet another hole, dropping a lit stone that then shot out from one of the large stacks of parchment, blowing apart like someone emerging from a hay bale, revealing a smaller hole. Gorn, caught up in the excitement of a scientific discovery, pushed through one of the other piles of parchment, revealing a small lit blue sigil, the object of the party's pursuits thus far, with the thrill of the hunt replaced by the thrill of scientific achievement. Gorn reached down and touched the sigil, sending the blue light shooting out of the room and inciting a distant screeching that rapidly approached from each of the chasms. The screeching intensified as a number of shadowy figures fired out from the depths. These shades, terrible, shadowy creatures with no true corporeal form, attacked the party, sapping their strength as the group was sliced, struck, and grabbed at by these profane figures. Roscoe took a particularly rough beating, his strength sapped to the point of barely being able to stand, mechanically a strength score of 2. And knowing his friend's fate would be sealed with one more decisive blow from the shades, DeLorean leapt into action to save the small man. Casting Polymorph, DeLorean changed his friend's body and mind into that of a large brown bear, leaving Roscoe with the strength to continue fighting the shades. But not many mental faculties. Seeing the situation as dire as it was, the party led a retreat, escaping the room where they entered. After they escaped the door, Flint saw a strange Goliath, someone who was not in the room with them before, appear, slamming the door to prevent the shades from escaping and then disappearing into the frays of combat within the classroom. Upon relaying this to the party, Gorn, his memory was something deep reached into his memory, and though he could not recall the exact details of how or who this person was, he did recognize a name echoing in his mind: Agval. With the third sigil activated upon the large double doors at the end of the hallway, the party began hopping across the depths, with Flint offering to carry Roscoe on his shoulders before being reminded that Roscoe is a bear. Perhaps Flint just wanted to upstage Gorn's bear pelt by wearing an actual bear, but we can never truly know his motivations. Opening the door to the quote-unquote summoning room, at least described as such by the plaque next to it, the party found a circular room with chairs and tables throughout and a large round carpet in the center, with a glowing violet sigil written on a chalkboard opposite the door. It was soon discovered that an invisible force field prevented the party from crossing through the center of the room. Bosco, Bear Roscoe, made himself comfortable on the carpet as Gorn sat near him and bonded over salmon. Don't quite recall the details on that one, actually. But Kevril managed to find a way around the force field by summoning a frog on the other side of the room, using it to touch the violet sigil, sending light shooting out of the room, presumably activating the fourth sigil on the main door, and causing the frog to explode in a terrible, gory pop that once again fell echoless in the sound-absorbing environment that the party has been thrust into over the last few sessions. Those are the events of Session 70. Siggins, thank you for contributing. You do receive inspiration. As I remarked before the session started, Tim can act as my witness, my affections in-game can be bought with out-of-game money. You can all take inspiration. That's okay. So, that being said, are there any questions? As well as the strange circumstances regarding Gorn's memories, his sightings of a figure whose identity has presumably been correctly identified as Malmsteen, former Tempest of the King's armies. The potential arrival of a new ally, known before from Paradine, Raya, the Death Guide, Paladin of Kel. And the plans to begin scouring the northern forests from whence you all arrived in Magnolia at the dawn of the next day upon the Duke's ability to muster his men and proper search parties. There is quite a lot that has happened. Although your life is rarely uneventful these days, this has been a particularly eventful series of events, and one that, unlike events in the past, has not easily yielded itself answers through simple exploration. And so, upon the morning of Monday, May 28th, 1001, you have left the rest of the party with a desire to perhaps learn more about what may be causing these strange visions that Gorn has been experiencing. You are seeking the most reliable source of information you have known in your life, which are the archives of King Ashen's Cathedral, an area, a wing of the upper cathedral, accessible only to high-ranking members of the clergy in Magnolia, and the source of much of your worldly knowledge to date. And while you know now that perhaps some of that knowledge is biased, it is still what you believe to be your best chance at perhaps getting answers, specifically knowledge about gods other than the Triad and their potential involvement with this, specifically Sensela, a name that has made its way into all of your vocabularies fairly regularly. It has been 12 hours since you have first checked in to the archives of King Ashen's Cathedral with the request to read through the archives. Go ahead and roll an investigation check for me. Okay. $70. That's true. It is Badger. All right, a 16, you said? All right. Rosani, I never start the event at Discord. Really got to get better at that. Not too important. Rosani, as I mentioned, you have spent a good portion of the day searching through the archives, trying to find anything that may lead you to a better understanding of your foes, and more specifically, how to protect your friends from them. The archives contain a vast array of knowledge, and for the most part, they are written from a triadic perspective. Most mention of gods other than the triad are reduced simply to sightings of black and evil spirits, strange forces lurking in the shadows that are better left unmentioned in a land under the guidance of the Triad's light and grace. You are able to come up with your own background knowledge of Sensela. You are able to put together a few items that may otherwise be missed by someone without personal experience. It seems as if trickery is well within Sensela's domain. And again, though this name is not mentioned specifically in any texts you find, but you do see mentions of jet black ravens, whisperings in the night, things seen in shadows one moment and gone the next. Trickery and impersonation are two valuable tools in the arsenal of this foe that you face. There are several accounts of clergymen, farmers, nobility, all having seen and experienced things they cannot quite explain, feeling an intense urge to act in ways that they may not consider typically, but feeling as if their hand is forced, as if the only way to prevent some terrible thing is to preemptively act before it can occur. Many of these tales do not end well. But beyond that, the pickings are slim. You find no written mention of the name Sensela. And unfortunately, the bias of the writers of the archives is clear. Clearer to you now than they were years ago when you first opened these dusty tomes. Your candlelight is fading as the moonlight begins to filter through one of the tall and high windows in the archive. There are very few, and you've situated yourself near one as the sun has begun to set to make use of the natural light of Lyrae, the moon. But after some time, you feel that you have exhausted the knowledge that you could locate in these archives. Okay. All right, Rosani, you not particularly satisfied, but more knowledgeable than you were before. You shut the tome that you were studying, place it to the side, and stand up from the table that you have been sitting at. You turn around. The archive is not a particularly large room. It is circular, maybe the size of a couple bedrooms when you take into account all of the space taken up by the bookcases. But what you see in the center of the room is most certainly not supposed to be there. And more importantly, is unexplainably there without you having noticed. You see that someone has, you all laughed at it last time, has pitched a thin blue tent in the center of the archive. A blue tent. Go ahead and roll investigation, perception. $27. All right, Rosani, you peer at the tent, trying to catch a glimpse through its flaps. You see all manner of strange things inside. You're about 10 feet away from its entrance. It looks as if there's tables with all sorts of devices upon them, as well as several standing devices, the largest of which is in the center of the room, the tent. A large standing grandfather clock, something you've only seen in Paradine. And for the life of you, it seems as if there's more space inside of this tent than there is on the outside of the tent. You also notice upon the wooden floor that the tent is seated, you see that it is very quickly drying out, rotting and becoming gnarled in some sections. But in other sections, you see that new growth from these floorboards is emerging. Twigs and sticks and branches. Okay. Yes, you cast Death Ward upon yourself. You part the flaps of the tent and you step inside. You see all manner of strange things strewn about this room. It's almost completely empty, in fact, of regular furniture. There are several tables, no chairs, standing grandfather clocks, and several other timepieces set upon the tables. Some sundials, others more recognizable clocks that you may find in Paradine, and still others strange devices with bright red and blue lights upon them. And as you peer around inside of here, your attention is immediately drawn to a voice near the center of the room. Didn't take you long to come in, did it? You look at the source of the voice. It's a halfling man, but everything about him is strange. You cannot quite pinpoint an age on him. In fact, he seems to occupy many. While his hair on top of his head is thick, coarse, and youthful, as you descend further down his face, it seems he becomes more wrinkled to the point where his wizened goatee fades from an ashy gray to a pure, thin, spindly white. He's adorned in all manners of strange clothing. Some you recognize, human clothing, a shirt you've seen Calhoun wear, a pair of shoes that you recognize as being elven, and yet still several other articles of clothing that you do not quite recognize, some of which are quite outlandish. That's good to hear. Tell me, did you find everything that you were looking for? Enough, you say. But is it really enough? You don't think more could be useful, do you? Perhaps an unbiased source. He looks you over, and he paces around the large clock in the center, but does not approach you. Well, it seems like my timing was not perfect. You see, I've already made contact with some of your friends. They received a comparable offer from me. An answer to any question, any that they could ask, any answer they would want to know, and perhaps a second one if they were fun enough. Ah, quite right. I am Abraham. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you're right, I do know some things about you. Some things I have heard. Others I have seen. It would be remiss if I were not to be here to see certain things through in the name of an important creed of mine. Fun. His face twisted to a beaming smile upon the utterance of fun. Quite right. And in exchange, they're seeking out an object for me. Not quite the object itself, merely a projection of it, but enough for me to use, to peruse. I see that you are in a unique situation of seeking information yourself. I offer you my own deal. It's a separate. Your questions may be different than theirs. Perhaps you would like something a little more. He pulls out a tome, concrete. Oh, just join your friends in their pursuit. But in exchange, it seems they're having a bit of trouble already. I do love to see mortal spirits prevail in the face of hardship. I could Oh, don't misunderstand me. I simply like to see my fellow man and woman in situations that are fun. Yeah, go for it. As mentioned before, your knowledge of the divine is admittedly limited to the Triad and the few other gods that you have mentioned. This man seems possessing of knowledge and power, but what flavor exactly it is, you cannot quite pinpoint. I can tell you're trying to figure out something. How about a advance payment? Ask me a question about myself. I will answer it if I can. Clever girl. No, it is not. But I believe what you're getting at is not quite accurate to my nature. Oh, how it might be if it were the case, but I am not a man of wondering, only of seeking. I am no god. Perhaps your friends could tell you a little more. I believe they asked some separate questions. But my deal, since you've accepted an advance payment already, go ahead and join your friends in their endeavor. Have fun, of course, but to aid in my enjoyment and their struggle, call it a 2-for-1 deal. You'll understand once you're there. Just say the word and I'll bring you. All right. So you'll consent. All right. Then here we go. He looks at you. All right then. Well, just hold on to something. This may not be entirely pleasant. Not all players have loaded the audio clip. Oh no. There we go. Rosani. Right. Rosani. Is the music playing? Oh, you guys hear it. Great. Well, I don't hear it at all, so you'll have to experience it. As you stand in the center of this room, all of the strange devices around you begin ticking, and then in a cacophonous uproar of sound, bells and buzzers begin. I gotta get this music playing on my end. This sucks. Come on. This is horrible. Anyways, this big sound encompasses you, and it becomes more than sound as your very perception of the things around you begin to shift and change. It feels as if, oh, here we go. It feels as if your very being is stretched and warped as the sensations around you become almost too much to bear, and you become one with the very sounds and sights you are hearing. Your consciousness stretched across eternity as this event occurs. You experience 1,000 lifetimes in moments, and yet moments stretched over 1,000 lifetimes simultaneously, and finally, as it all comes to a grand climax, there is nothing. Pink Floyd's Time, everybody. Wish I could hear it. Well, it was playing from the tabletop, but I didn't hear it. I don't have mine down, which is why I'm a little disappointed. But that's okay. All right. Everyone else. Let me get the map up real quick. Sorry, one moment. Here we are. So, all of you, minus Rosani, you have all just summoned the fourth sigil upon the large double doors within this strange, cracked, and broken hallway. And as you step out from the doorway and begin discussing your plans again, the two of you, all of you, look and see Gorn and Flint. Something seems strange about them. The borders of their being appear to be shimmering, in fact. Gorn looks at all of you and says, hey, guys, something weird is happening to me. Yeah, listen, man, I don't know. I look all, like, shimmery. Oh, it's happening to Flint, too. You look over at Flint and see the same thing is occurring to him. Flint's looking around at himself like, oh, brother. Roscoe's a bear. Yeah, go ahead. You... Go ahead and make your roll for that. Okay. You attempt to dispel the magic on Gorn, but the spell fizzles, and before you're able to act again, you watch as Gorn and Flint become fully translucent, then transparent, and then disappear into nothing. And in their place, we're going to get these guys out of here. You watch as moments later, you begin to see Rosani materialize before you. Where's Rosani? Where's her icon? Where are you? Where the hell? There's old Rosani. Don't look at this part of the stream. You see all my shit that's in the back here. Alright, well, I guess I'm just gonna make... No, we got you. That's why I keep these, realistically. Two-for-one deal. Yeah, you want team balance? You... Yeah. Yeah. All right. You all watch as those two fade away, and very soon after, in their place, Rosani begins to materialize before you, before she is fully corporeal. Rosani, you glance around this place and see that almost everything in here is devoid of color, save for 4 glowing arcane sigils and a set of large double doors. 4 members of the party, well, 3 members of the party stand before you, Otis, Kevril, and DeLorean, as well as a large brown bear. All devoid of color. You are, as are you, as you look at your own hands. You are incredibly disoriented after whatever it is just happened at the hands of Abraham. And you begin to come to your senses, stood in front of this group of 4. Yeah, yeah. You know what happens to your character mechanically, like things on your character sheet, you can identify your own like state. Roscoe, he is a human now. Yeah, you only did 90% dispelling on the spell, and now he's a human. All right, let me get a Roscoe token because uh, but only if you mix them with halflings. Oh, all right, I'm gonna put him over here. You get a Roscoe Funko Pop. It's not. He's not that small. Oh man, you could probably 3D print it. A Catboy Roscoe Funko Pop. Yeah. How dreadful. All right, DeLorean. You dispel the spell on Roscoe. Roscoe, you begin to feel your mind clear of carnivorous and hibernation type thoughts. As your frame goes smaller and smaller to your normal size, and then continually smaller because you have been sapped of an incredible amount of life energy, you fall upon the ground, sickly thin, barely able to move, breathing is difficult. You are perhaps in the second worst shape of your life, the first being when you were literally killed. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so Greater Restoration. Yes. Rosani, despite being in this strange, still unexplained land devoid of color, and as you've noticed now, any carriage of sound, it's very dull in here, very much the opposite of echoey, like this. You muster divine strength and focusing your will. Arabella's will is your own. You were able to restore Roscoe back to his former strength of 8, 11. I would believe it. That's the thing. Yeah, Roscoe. Roscoe, I am going to say you take 1 psychic damage from the incredible mental whiplash that you have just undergone. Yeah. Shit's intense. All right. Roscoe, you're healed. King Ashen's Cathedral. He did give you a title. Oh. You've also got new kidneys. Yeah. Well, you don't have kidneys. Otis, if you had kidneys, that would be a problem. You don't have exhaust, man. You're I do know that. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Hey, you guys are sick. Oh man, a character you know dies. You're at the funeral, at the epilogue of the campaign. It's a moment of silence, and then you just hear the of Otis idling. Sorry, I'll excuse myself. You all see that there are 2 side doors that you have not yet entered. That's correct. Also, Rosani, Tim, you wrote it down, the title. By O. Octavia. That name would be Tavia, actually. Ah, yeah, nice. Ugh. I would know. Okay. That's a good meme, Rosani. That's exactly what happens, yeah. That's what, while Gorn was freaking out, that is what Flint did. He just... Yeah. All right. Well, Rosani, with the details of the situation described, namely the party's arrival here, the puzzles that they have seen so far, all of which seem to have involved magic, different schools of magic in some way, the strange sightings of a few different characters, specters almost, that have appeared and disappeared at random, that Gorn and Otis were back and forth able to perhaps identify the names of. You are fully caught up with the situation. Though you understand little of what is happening here, you at least understand the same little amounts that the rest of the group has. Yeah, you guys can make, that's a 10-foot jump. You guys can make that as long as your strength score is not like 6. Let's... Well, let's see. I said 10 feet. Yeah, you could about... It's more like 8 feet, which is good because your running long jump distance in feet is your strength score. Badger, you can just barely make it. Any longer, and you might have to roll. All right. Are you guys going across the chasm to this room then? All right. Okay. So, you all enter into... all right. I get it, Kaz. I get it. Very funny. All right. We're gonna do that. We can take a 45-minute intermission. All right. You all enter. It's reversed. Don't worry about it too much. You all enter into the room. I don't know why Kevril didn't get any smaller. Man, now I have icons for you two. Yeah. Yeah, you guys just bought one. I'm gonna cut you out. Yeah. Stickers, yeah. All right. You all enter. Wow. So, you all enter into this room. You see that this chamber is in fact a series of what appears to be several smaller rooms. And near the center of the room, at the center of the wall, at the end of the room, you see that there is a small flowing fountain of water, as well as above it, a large tapestry with a crying eye upon it. Okay. Yes. That's correct. Okay. Let's see. Rosani, you move towards the center of the room, while the rest of you begin peering through the other chambers. And you see, in the front of the fountain, right in the center of that room, there is a glass bucket. In the center of the room, or in the center of the where the fountain is, right where Rosani is standing. Yes. What's your passive perception? Okay. Rosani, you take the bucket and fill it with water. And as you go to throw the water into the hole, you stop. You see that inside of the bucket there is a key. You didn't see it before, but now it is clear as day to you, peering through the water in the bucket. You can. Do you take it out of the bucket? You take the key out of the bucket and you see that as you pull it out, you can still feel it in your hand, but you cannot see it. Yeah, roll investigation. Yeah. 11. Rosani, you take off your gloves, search your way through the fountain's cracks and crevices, but after a quick search, you do not find anything. They all have doors, yes. Yeah. You enter inside. Yeah, so You look. Hold on. You look around this room and you see a few different things. A couple of old, decayed tomes, a table, a chair, as well as a few small crystal balls, sticks of incense, and a divining rod. It's like a two-pronged stick that you'd use in divination to kind of like, it should shake when it points you in the correct direction of things. It's a divination tool. Yeah. Yeah, you take both a crystal ball and a divining rod off of the table and the floor respectively. No. Sorry, there is one thing I forgot to mention. Upon the wall, there is another crying eye tapestry. Yes, the eye is closed. Oh, okay. Did you? Then no. Correct. Roll Arcana. Yeah, let me get 40d6 out real quick. Okay, hold on. Cavril, you point the divining rod at the bucket and try to muster whatever magic you can to, well, divine something. You are very much not a student of divination, and despite your best attempts, you are really unable to make anything happen. Though you really did give it a good try, you're not quite sure if you could make anything happen. Rosani, you take the divining rod. You watch as you stick it into the bucket. The key is in there as well. You see that peering through the bucket and the water, unlike the key, which is very clear and easy to see, the shape of the divining rod, the image that you see through it, is, well, like sticking something in water. The image is refracted. That is correct. Your hand is indeed refracted. The image of your hand. You want to drink the water? No, the bucket is clear. All right, let's go one at a time. Kevril, you're entering another room. Yeah, you see that it is a lit stick of incense. Hold on one second. So, Ra, you want to investigate this room? Okay, go ahead and roll investigation. Okay. So, Kevril, you look around in this room. One second. You enter into the room. You see the lit stick of incense, a broken pile of several old stools that have been kind of piled together, a couple of other dowsing rods upon the ground, another table, and then a larger, what did I say before? Oh, divination rod, dowsing rod, same thing. A couple of dowsing rods, and another larger crystal ball. You take a look at this crystal ball, and it's definitely larger than the other one that you saw in there. But there is something odd about this. While the first crystal ball you saw was very clear, it seems that this one is sort of, well, hazy. Okay. Yeah, you may. Okay. You walk over to Rosani with the bucket being tilted around. Are you looking through it? Okay, yeah, you see that most of the area that you look through is shifted and refracted, peering through the bucket of water. And Kevril comes by and drops the lit stick of incense inside of it. It hisses for a moment as the fire goes out. A little larger puff of smoke comes from out of it. But that smoke, though it clouds the air for a moment, it quickly afterwards dissipates into the air. It doesn't seem as if anything else happens to the bucket. Yeah, we absolutely... Yeah, you absolutely can. Which one? The bigger one. Rosani, you see... Roll perception. League. Jesus Christ. Okay. Rosani, you peer through the bucket, and at first you don't see anything through the sphere. It's a little hazy. It definitely looks strange, but by a stroke of luck, perhaps, there is a small... As the incense stick decays inside of the bucket, a small ember that was still caught inside of it flicks and crumples and burns up in the water and rises with a little tiny puff of like smoke and debris within the bucket that rises up. And in that mere moment, that instant, as the smoke passes in front of your eyes before it goes up to the bucket, you do see something within the sphere. Okay? It's not lit, it's all wet. You guys start doing that. Otis. Yeah, Roscoe, you want a drink from the fountain? All right. All right, Roscoe, you drink from the fountain. Roll a Constitution saving throw. A 13. Roscoe, you drink the water and you feel it's cold. It trickles down your throat and into your stomach. And you feel it settle in there and begins to burble and burble. You belch. It seems as if there's a bit of residual polymorphing still left to be undone after being a bear, but this seems to just be water. Otis. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Otis, you enter into your little room. You take a peek around. You see nothing of particular interest. A table, a stool, 2 books upon the ground, rotted and old, and a crying eye tapestry upon the wall. The eye is closed. You have not. All right. Otis, you tear the tapestry down from the wall. You carefully remove the tapestry from the wall. And you see that there appears to be a smooth metal plate behind the tapestry. You look at the bucket through the metal plate, and you see that in the center of the metal plate, there is a keyhole. You can, you do, and there is. And DeLorean, I will go to you. You see, you look in your room, you see a large bookcase, a table with a rotted old tome upon it. There are no divining rods or any other divination elements in here. And it appears that the tapestry in here has already been ripped down. This tapestry is of a crying eye. The eye is open. It's pretty high quality. Okay. And roll investigation. There's not. You peer around in the room, and it doesn't appear like there's anything else to find in here. Okay. It is. Okay. The two that you found, I'll mark them as such. Closed. Closed. Open. And this is obviously open. Correct. You have not. Okay. You do so. The incense, the incense flares up. You peer through the ball, and you see that there is a key inside of the ball. You shatter the crystal ball upon the ground, and laying in the broken glass, there is a key. All right, you guys are checking the middle two rooms. There was not a tapestry. The things you saw in there were the rods, the lit stick of incense, the ball, which you just shattered, a table, and then a pile of stools all broken and piled up on each other. There could perhaps be something underneath it. Okay, Rosanna, you enter into your room, and you see a closed eye. Otis, you enter into your room, and you see an open eye on the tapestry. There is a metal plate. Yes. Yeah, you can see it from there. There is a keyhole. Yes. A dividing rod. Yeah, you... Ugh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, DeLorean, you have been waterboarding yourself, trying to cover your face with the water. Roscoe, are you helping him? Okay. Jesus Christ. And Rosani, you climb up on top of the fountain, pull it down. There is not a metal plate behind it. You do not see it. You can, while the water is still in your eyes, you can see the key. But you cannot see anything else because water is in your eyes. Jesus. Oh, good. Okay. You do not see anything. Go ahead and roll investigation. No, perception. Fucking, he's got real eye drops. Yeah. What the fuck? It's a wisdom skill, yeah. Alright. Yeah, you look, well, no, I'll save that for when somebody finally rolls a 30. You look at the wall where the tapestry was, and in fact, you revise that statement in your head. It doesn't look like there ever was a tapestry hung in this room. Where the rest of the tapestries that you tore down were, there was a distinct lack of dust in a tapestry shape on the four walls. Here, it's all dusty. There's a bookshelf. Yeah, like a table. Yeah, you can. You kind of shift it over. You look with the bucket as well. You see nothing. Where are you looking? The familiar faces. We have 2 keys. Okay. Capital. Um, you look and you see nothing of interest, Rosani. Rod, 2 prongs. Yeah. It's made of wood. You go clink, and nothing else happens. You have not. That would be more of an arcane rather than divine tool. Badger, you're able to see all of the same things that Rosani has found with her bucket. No key. Roscoe, you are given the key by Rosani. Oh, the dividing rod. Okay. Roll Arcana. Kevril, what are you doing? A 7. You go up to each of the metal plates. Nothing happens. Yeah, you part all the chairs. You do not find anything underneath them. But go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll investigation. Actually, what the fuck, guys. All right. You see, as you turn away to leave, that upon the wall there is a distinct lack of dust upon the wall behind the pile of stools. You do so. All right. You look through the bucket and you see that there is a metal plate upon the wall, but no keyhole. Yeah. Yes. And Rosani, as he does that, you see, in fact, not looking through the bucket, you both see a keyhole on the metal plate. Okay. Is that what you guys are going to do? Okay. Kevrel, you take your key, turn the lock, and you begin to feel rumbling in the room. Rumbling, shaking as the key falls from your hand into the lock. It's stuck in there. The table falls down. The rods are rolling around. It gets more and more and more. Some bright, colorful confetti pops from the ceiling above you. And you hear, in fact, all of you hear this sourcelessly. Great job with that one. Unfortunately, that one was, well, what you'd get from that one would not be very useful for you. So consider my fun had. Congratulations. You've gotten yourself an extra question. Go ahead and think about that. And great job. I think the ones that were here last didn't see this one like you did. Boom, boom, boom. Yay! And, yeah, Rosani, do you put your key in? Ka-chunk. Nothing happens, so far as you can tell. At least nothing in the room. Okay. As you two, hold on. As you guys walk, anyone who walks out of the room at this point, you see now that glowing on the wall behind the tapestry where the tapestry was above the fountain, there is indeed a glowing yellow arcane sigil. Okay, it disappears. You can remove the key. Yeah. Okay. Kevrel, do you want to try and put a key in a lock? Jesus. This and this, and you could not find anything in this one. All right, Kevral. Kevral, you peer through the smoke throughout the room and you find nothing. Similarly, nothing happens. Okay. Kevral. The door slams shut behind you, and you watch from the cracks in the rock near the upper perimeter where the wall meets the ceiling. Thick gas begins to pour out. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, Kevral, the gas, you breathe it in, it gets in your eyes and you're unable to see, it stings, it burns, and you take 7 poison damage. You can't, you're blinded. You can hold on just 1 second for Kevral. No, you are not. Kevral, the gas is dense and thick and it coats over you and you take that poison damage as you inhale it and it burns at your skin. But just as quickly as it fills the room, it settles upon the ground, hanging well below where you stand, and you were able to breathe fresh air once more as the door opens back up. Rosania nearly smacks you into the hole, but you're okay. Okay. Yeah. You can. Okay. Bellissimo. Gorlami. Okay. You guys exit the room one by one. And Rosani, you are the last to exit the room, and as you turn around and close the door behind you, you catch a glimpse of a figure within this room that you have just exited. You see what appears to be, hold on one second, just a moment. Ah, yes. Okay, you take a look inside the room. You catch a glimpse of a figure. They appear to be a very small being. Whether they're a gnome or a halfling, you can't quite tell. They have a long green cloak on, and a big green hood to cover them. They're facing away from you. And you watch as they turn around towards you. You make eye contact with them, her, for just a moment. You see that it is a young halfling woman. Her face mostly obscured by her, I say green cloak, but you can't see color. Cloak. Her face mostly obscured by the cloak. She seems to look right at you for just a moment before she picks up a divining rod that has been cast aside on the ground, silently speaks some words to someone who appears to be next to her, and then disappears into one of the side rooms that you had just left. The middle one, where you solved the puzzle. Okay. Groovy. Do you guys all make your way over to the room that you have not seen? Oh, you'll fall. Yeah. Oh. The only person who cannot make this without a roll is DeLorean. The rest of you jump over the gap, and DeLorean, you pause for a moment, given your jump strength. You are very nimble, but admittedly your vertical is not particularly impressive. No, and you hesitate at the precipice. Okay. Roscoe, you want to inspire him? Okay. Go ahead and roll athletics. You do have inspiration. No, your character inspiration, yeah. You guys are pay to win now. Okay, you are able to make the jump. Oh, well. You can make the jump. Yeah, so like mechanical character sheet inspiration gives you advantage on any roll of your choosing. But you can only hold one at a time. It's not like you can accrue them forever, so it's in your best interest to use them. Okay. You've done so. All right. All right. You guys enter the room. Yeah, you look at the ground and you see that coming from deeper within the room, there are long, spindly plant tendrils. And overgrown is a plaque next to the wall that says, Botany Room. It's Peter Piranha. All right, everybody. You all... Yes. You all peer into the room as you enter. You see that the botany room is heavily overgrown with gigantic thorny tendrils that cover the area. There are several workstations, all with smaller plants that have mostly died or been consumed by their larger cousins. There are stools lying around everywhere. There are other tables with dirty old trowels and other little botany implements. In fact, roots have begun to even spread out of the cracks upon the ground. And you see that there are several vials upon one of the tables over here. Several vials and containers, a few of which appear to have liquid in them. And perhaps most notably, in the right corner of the room, the only source of chromatic light. It's hard to see from where you are, but you can see that there is some sort of chromatic light. Yes. You all look at this, and you see that behind a cascading web of 3 large tendrils in an upturned planter box is a blue light sigil. Dark blue. And that also means that I actually, one of the other sigils from before should have been green. Forget about that other old blue one. My bad. A dark blue sigil, or just a blue sigil. You see that its light cascades over these three tendrils. And it appears that washed over by the blue light, the first tendril appears to be cyan, the second one a magenta, and the third white. It is nearly impossible to access them without clearing them. You attempt to... Is it raining? No. You attempt to take the dagger and cut through the thorny tendril. It's like trying to cut through a steel plate. Still steel. You absolutely can. Yes. Over here. Oh no, you're brown, sorry. Rosani, you take a look at the vials. You see there's several, I say vials, they're more like, they're closer to beakers. Hi. Yeah, you could pass over these. Pass over and under. Yeah, the only ones that block any movement are these suckers. Rosani, you take a look. You see that there are, let's see. Yes, the two of you look, and you see that there are 3 vials, 3 containers of liquid. You do not see, they're colorless. Okay. Rosani, you take the 3 vials, and in the blue light, Otis, you lead the way, spurned on by some sense of motivation. Rosani, you are glad that your mechanical fellow is such an upstart, and you trail behind him. You all arrive at the tendrils and the blue light, and you thrust them into view of the blue light. You see that the first one appears to be cyan. The second one appears to be magenta. And the third one appears to be white. No, sorry. The third one appears to be blue. Dark blue. Yes. Magenta, cyan, and blue. Hey, you can't look it up. That's cheating. That's cheating. You can't look up color theory. Open flasks. You pour the cyan liquid on the cyan vine, and you watch as upon contact with the tendril, it begins to rapidly eat away and degrade the material. You would have to pour a little more on there to fully get through it, but it appears as if this is some sort of fast-acting substance. All right. You burn through the first tendril. It smells like incredibly strong chemicals. Like it smells like acetone. You do? Hannah, I work... No, go ahead, Sal. Hannah, you should come work with me. We have tanks that have 20 million gallons of acetone. Yeah, I'll tell you, when you got 500 gallons per minute of acetone going and you can smell it, it's not pleasant. That shit will knock you on it. Like, I can't stand there for more than a minute. I have to, like, go away. It's intense. Yeah, it's bad, those fumes. So that's what this smells like. It's very strong. Yeah. You could use 200 pounds of fentanyl to kill 150 million people, or you could use it to really kill one guy. Oh man, you probably would get killed. What are you using? Which one? The magenta one? Yeah, you were holding the magenta one. It burns away similarly to the first one. This one smells a little more like methanol. Alcohol. Well, ethanol is drinking alcohol, but methanol is also in the family. You know this, you were a chemist. Roll nature. That's a reach, but you can do it with advantage. DeLorean, go ahead. Okay. You know that colors and plants tend to tell a lot about them. Bright plants might mean they're poison. Dark plants, not so much, better to eat. They also don't have as much chlorophyll in them. As far as herbicides go, you're not quite sure, but it seems like matching the colors to the tendrils has worked so far. As far as knowing color theory from your experience with plants, I will say that you do know that mixing all of the colors of light would result in white. Correct. You know what, Badger? I'll give you a little DeLorean. Sorry, I'll give you a little more info. You know that oftentimes, well, it's pretty obvious, really. When you make something out of a colored plant, the color of that substance usually is the same color as the plant was. Perhaps that applies here. You pour the magenta and the cyan at the same time. Okay. You mix them together, and you see in the light that it is white. It eats through the third one, and it smells. Oh, it smells. It kind of smells like, it's kind of like old milk. Of the ones you actually smelled. Well, Coverall did actually smell it. Yeah. All right, you touch the sigil. Hey man, curiosity overtook you, it seems. You touch the sigil, it disappears. So, okay, you know what? Because this isn't like a lore thing or something, I'll tell you. It's blue. The color of the third tendril is yellow, which is the mix of red and green. Yes. The first and cyan is green and blue mixed, yes. The vials, the containers were red, blue, and green. All right. You exit, and you see now that in a ring, a half ring, over the door, light blue, dark blue, yellow, magenta, green, and red. And now in the center of the door, a very large, dark, violet seal shimmering on the double doors at the end of the room. All of it? And Roscoe, one more thing. As you leave, you already saw it. You look. As you're leaving, you see a glimpse of a figure. Sorry, 1 second. You see a strange little creature, Roscoe. They appear about 3 feet tall, and they're wearing a dress? Maybe? No, not a dress. They're wearing a strange little uniform. It's dark, but they are not something that you immediately recognize. It appears that they're a little bipedal crow. Can I have you roll insight for me? Yeah, DeLorean, you actually have true sight for the rest of the campaign. Yeah. But only when looking at things with the same refractive index as water. What'd you roll? 11. Roscoe, you are transported back to a time really not too long ago, but many events ago. A perhaps simpler time, maybe not. A much more tumultuous time, and one as equally confusing as this. You recall seeing several creatures like this in the past, excavating 2 water genasi sorcerers from a large sphere of ice floating in the northern ocean of the Gale Plains. You recall these creatures served the dreaded pirate captain Edward Lofi, father of Calhoun, and that they soon dissipated into dust upon his initial defeat at the hideout where Calhoun sacrificed his life as a risky maneuver backed by Arabella to free him from his curse and to guide the party towards the heart of Armogan and the ice caps. It appears that this creature is very similar to that. You remember things, yeah. They're very bear themed. Your thoughts during them are of a bear's, but you remember them happening. Hungry. Let's look at this. That's like, what's that? Did say crow. Also, Mitchell, from long back, those AI renders you sent of the commission, those are all alternate universe versions of you guys. Why? You know what I think is really fucked up, by the way? That I'm a big ass vampire in 3 of them. That fucking hurts me. Or similar heights. All right. You return to 10, right? 11, okay. Roscoe, it seems that your party members are uninterested in hearing what you have to say as they prepare to bridge the gap. Lauvha. Spelled Lamhach. Yeah. Lauvha. It's Gaelic. Oh boy. Oh my God. You know, the bottom rights, that's that's vaguely what Patrick and Stevie look like, actually. Oh, they are. None of you have any concept for what this kind of creature is. It was this campaign. Wow, look at that. Wow. Well, Roscoe, you, Cool John Gershwin. That was session 5. Session 5 or 6. Yeah, nice callback on that one. Yeah. Unfortunately, that doesn't get you much more. But Roscoe, you do remember that you've also seen one of these creatures. Now, this is the 3rd time. You first saw one stuffed in the Applegate Manor in Paradine on a mission. Yeah, on a mission long ago with one Cool John Gershwin, whose whereabouts have since been completely lost to you after. Yeah. You recall that? I can't say. There's something I said about him. He has been mentioned actually in the past 20 sessions, but it is no. Anyways. You've seen this 3 times now, Roscoe. You, despite doing some research on your free time, you all make yourselves a little more learned about the world as you go. These things you have seen almost zero mention of. What those things are, it seems like if they probably don't actually exist. They've just been it is very strange that you have seen them. But you keep seeing them. Roscoe, I'd give you another inspiration for catching that, but you already have one, so you guys are making bank this session on these suckers. It's a good callback. Man, my achy breaky heart. Okay. will you guys continue to discuss who you've seen, or? Yeah. So I can tell you this. One second. Ishim, that's his name, but you found his name. Kevril, you saw a green dragonborn man. You did not get his name, actually, from either Otis nor Gorn, though they seem to recognize him. DeLorean saw a changeling woman who Otis was able to identify as Lauva. And you know what? Gorn identified the Dragonborn man as Ishim. Let's see. Flint saw Agval, a large Goliath man whom Gorn was able to identify. Now Gorn is gone. You guys have since seen a small halfling woman and a strange crow-like creature. That's what a notebook's for. Go ahead. That is something I will leave to you as a player to decide. What kind of importance you want to assign to the people you've seen. Yeah. Gamered. All right. I got it. All right. Oh, Lord. That is true. Oh. Yeah, Carol doesn't know who the fuck Cool John is either. Yeah, guys. Vega's being babysat by Calhoun. He's fine. Fine. Half of Calhoun's house will be on fire. The other half will be frozen from the twins. Yeah, you guys have left him with two 15, 16-year-old individuals who have been frozen in ice for 100 years almost, and are two of the most powerful casters that you know, as well as a fire elemental who has proven to be incredibly temperamental as of late. And that's on top of the fact that Calhoun has been in a depressive episode ever since the months ago when you returned from the ocean after you killed his dad, and he found out his dad was a necromancer. So we have already talked at length about how Calhoun has been doing these days. Find a better babysitter. But anyways, that's not important right now. You guys approach the large double doors. Do you enter? You immediately are killed. It's a little stretched. That's okay. It's a circle. It did, and here's how I'm going to remedy it. Oh no! Yeah. Nice. All right. Scaling up. It's overtaken some of the characters, but that's fine. Yeah, congrats. Don't worry, guys. I do make the grids properly. It's just Tabletop Simulator sucks. But don't worry. Soon we'll be able to pay $200 a month to play in D&D 1. Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast, if you're watching, I know you are, because we're a top 10% D&D streamer. Audio Jungle. Yeah. Audio Jungle. That's what I gotta say to you. Yeah, they do. All right. What we're going to do here is we're going to take 5 minutes, go use the bathroom, get a drink or something. I also have to use the bathroom. We're going to take a brief pause. We'll be back at the half hour, 7:30, let's call it. Somebody speak real quick.
Speak.
God damn it.
We've been muted this whole time.
Yeah, you guys haven't been broadcasting audio. It's just been me talking.
That's really cool.
Yep. Man. Shit. Because I was watching the stream on my phone and I saw you guys back. I was like, man, it's quiet. And,
Well.
yeah, it was quiet.
Yep.
Damn it. Alright, well, we got the back half. Unfortunately, we are going to have to quickly go through this entire session now and reenact everything that we just did because of that. So. Alright, well, this VOD will be, the back half will have no sound, or front half. That sucks.
And that's okay.
Hey.
Son of a bitch. This has happened before. I just need to check my audio every time we play, just to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. It's always a good idea, just to be sure. And it usually takes like really quick, so.
Yeah, it takes me literally 10 seconds. What is
Yeah.
my battery right now? I can't find...
Alright, my food is almost done. I'm just gonna go grab it in 1 second.
Okay.
Oh.
I really want buffalo chicken dip, and I have everything to make the buffalo
I
chicken
literally
dip.
have it. I was just thinking about. I have the Trader Joe's buffalo chicken dip in my fridge. I was just thinking about it.
I have everything to make it, except the tortilla chips.
That's also why I haven't heated mine up. I ate the rest of mine.
I'm low on like all of the snacks. I just
I
don't
am-
need to go to the grocery
I'm
store.
not seeing a battery readout on my fucking tablet right now. I don't know why.
Infinite power, perpetual motion machine inside
Yes.
the tablet.
Yeah, I meant, you know what, my my Windows Surface Pro is actually that fucking perpetual motion machine from Atlas Shrugged.
Oh, the fucking the Galt engine or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry, libertarians. So long as we have a perfect infinite energy producing machine, we could live in a paradise.
My favorite thing about that book is that all of the very like rich billionaires just settle back and do like menial jobs, because that would happen.
Huh? Definitely.
Yeah, right. Oh man, I gotta call out Wizards of the Coast since no, they would have heard me.
Yeah, you're good.
Damn. What's happening with the
Just come out of
So-
nowhere, but you know, it's fine.
I'm gonna
So-
go through that whole VOD and I'm gonna find like a super really inappropriate, out of context clip of Brett saying something.
You want to subtitle it while you do that?
Maybe not.
I didn't think so.
For everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm not gonna be able to remember what everyone else said, and I can't read lips. Badger.
Badger can.
Yeah.
There you go.
So what's going on with the Wizard stuff? I've seen a little bit, but I don't really know what's going.
Same.
So, D&D 1, as you guys know, is coming out soon.
I actually don't know.
Oh,
That's like-
Basically
that's the
an
next-
online way to play D&D. It's gonna be,
It's like
I
the
think,
next edition.
similar to like Baldur's Gate 3.
Or like,
so
how is it different from like Roll20?
all right. So let me explain.
Whatever. You do it.
So D&D 1 has been announced. D&D 1 is supposed to be the last D&D edition, and all content moving forward is supposed to be compatible with it. It's also compatible with all of the 5th edition material that has been written, which makes it feel like 5.5, in that 3 to 3.5 with the same thing. It was a bunch of rule changes and bug fixes, basically, that made 3 better than it was, and you could run all of 3 stuff, right?
Okay.
So mechanically, just off the bat, it doesn't sound so bad. We're getting 5.5 edition. They're not going to make any new editions after that. But with it, there is supposed to be support for like playing online, playing on the computer, because that's how people play. That's how we play. And that sounds all well and good. I don't know exactly what the software is supposed to be. It will be like a licensed software. It won't be Roll20. It'll be like Wizards of the Coast software. And you'll be able, like Roll20, to buy all of the source books and things in it so you can use that content. But where it starts getting real fucky-wucky is that it's unclear whether or not you can homebrew anything with it.
Oh.
It will be a subscription-based service, not
You
like
lost
a
me.
game purchase. And recently Hasbro or WotC's CEO, one of the two, said that D&D is heavily under-monetized and should follow the path of more modern video games in their payment structure, things like that.
So we're going to loot boxes.
So you're
is
gonna
what
be
we're hearing.
you're gonna get D&D like, oh man, I could pay $10 and I get advantage, and the DM has to let me do it. That's a joke, but you get
That's
it.
that's so stupid.
So Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast has historically been really awful with with letting people use their stuff. They may be revoking the OpenGL, I think they call it, which allows people to use like the base rules from Dungeons and Dragons and change things to them and like use them as their own product, which is how you got Pathfinder. Pathfinder took 3.5's rule set, Pathfinder First Edition, because there are two editions of that. Pathfinder 1E took 3.5's rules and made Pathfinder. And so, like, with that gone, you wouldn't have a Pathfinder. Pathfinder would probably still exist, but maybe they'd sue them. I don't know.
Well, how could they? Because it was
yeah.
made under that protection, and so they would never win that case because it
Yeah,
was made
right.
with that.
Yeah.
So, but like in the future, you couldn't make anything. We might not be able to. We don't make money, but if we were making money off of this stuff, we probably
Imagine
wouldn't be
Critical
able-
Role.
Yeah, we wouldn't be
Oh,
able
yeah,
to.
that-
Well, that's the
okay,
thing. Critical Role on the
that's-
big streams, they were going to skate by because they bring
Yeah.
in so much.
Which does that's
But for people
I
like
hate
us, if we were
Mhm.
if we were going to be making any money off these streams, if it was popular,
Well, it's
enough,
like-
we
I remember Nintendo did something like that a while ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Right, but you're still able to like stream and monetize video games on Twitch. It wouldn't be different than that, would it? Because like I could go and stream Red Dead Redemption, and it's not like Rockstar is going to come after my money.
See, that's the thing.
Exactly.
There are some video games that will do that.
Really?
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah.
I know some video games that'll pay you to stream their games.
Yes.
I think Overwatch.
Yeah, no, I do know that some video games don't want you to stream mainly the ending for story reasons, or they just don't want you to stream it because it's basically giving people the reason not to play their game. Is I think the idea behind it.
But the big thing with Wizards of the Coast right now is just the monetization thing. We're going to see a lot of spending in D&D 1. And I was kind of excited to check it out because if it was like just a true 5.5, we would be going to that. Because I've seen the differences between 3 and 3.5, and I know that they were good. 5 to 5.5 would probably be great, but they've changed all sorts of things. They've also been doing like, there are some changes that are interesting, like races are called something else now, like Origins, and they've done all sorts of gameplay stuff like that, which I don't really have a strong opinion on one way or
The stuff
other.
the stuff I've seen so far looks cool on it, but
And that's the thing. Some of the content seems really cool. It's just like what they're built on is bad.
I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what it looks like at the end of the
And
day.
that's the thing.
It's hard to say right now.
I
feel
am
like
knowing
this is
Wizards of the Coast.
way.
I'm not optimistic, and they've been doing shit.
Neither
Cosmos
am I.
with Magic the Gathering too, all sorts of jazz.
I feel like they're missing the point of why D&D and tabletop role-playing games got so popular in the first place. And that's because the price point to entry is very low. Like you can.
I mean, it
usually
was
people get a
free for
PDF
us.
Yeah, it was free for us. Most people just get a PDF copy of the handbook, get a cheap set of dice.
Then
they
they
wouldn't
just
make money on
learn.
anyway, and then you learn, and then once you're kind of hooked, It's kind
Then
of like
you
a drug
start
dealer getting
spending
your first
money.
month for free.
Exactly.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
Like I know
I
people who start
read-
playing D&D for free, and then they collect like every book that's published.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I
Or,
didn't
like, all
even
the
read.
figurines.
I didn't even read the fucking player's handbook for like 2.5 years. Like it's.
Yeah.
But that's the
You know
thing.
how to read.
That's a CEO who is making that decision because
Yeah.
he wants to make the company more money, and that's his job. And it's my job to say, okay,
Ooh.
I'm not going to spend any of my money on your stuff.
Yeah, that
already
it's
don't.
just
Literally.
dumb.
I already write everything that we do, and make all the maps, and do the other shit. I don't spend any money on them already. I'm probably not going to start now.
Yeah.
It
But
does
we'll
also
see.
suck because there's a lot of TTRPGs that are very like stylistically very unique from D&D, but they use a lot of the similar rule set. And
That
I'm
would be
wondering-
with the OpenGL. You wouldn't be able to do
Yeah.
things like that anymore. Yeah.
which sucks because there's a huge variety in tabletop role playing games
Mhm.
that are really cool, that have
Yeah.
little tweaks that make them better in different ways.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so we'll see. At the end of the day, maybe Dungeons and Dragons as a brand will cease to exist soon, but we'll keep playing because at this point, D&D and Wizards of the Coast to me have zero correlation. D&D is this,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we have to call it something because the Twitch stream will get sued if we say we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
it's time to usher in the era of the open source tabletop role playing game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to take a rotation around the time. Do you guys wanna, whoever's in Illinois, whenever it comes out, do you guys want to see the D&D movie together?
Yes,
I
I really
only
want to see the
recently-
D&D movie.
I actually really want to see that movie.
I
It
didn't
looks
realize
really
that
good.
movie existed until yesterday when I went to go see Puss in Boots, only to find out that the projector was broken.
Oh.
And I saw they had, like the big like advertisement for it. Are there like trailers out and shit for it?
Mhm. Yeah, it looks so fun.
Yeah,
I will
it's
say,
very much like actual D&D game spirit, which
Yeah.
might be a lot because you know what, Marvel movies all feel like that now. But
Yeah.
so maybe it'll be fatiguing, but we'll see. I'm optimistic. I think it'll be goofy.
Mhm.
I will be leaving Minnesota shortly, and probably gonna go home for a little bit. So maybe I'll just be staying at home while that comes out. When's it coming out? April?
March.
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 Damn.
Very well could be. Or maybe I'll go to a solar project.
Yeah. Okay. Are we all back and ready to go? Mitchell, are you cooking something? Okay. Are you ready to go? Okay. You have a bowl.
Sure looks like a pan, Mitchell.
What is he making? Explain yourself.
This is now a cooking stream.
Dude's making yellow tendril.
Oh my
pesticide
god,
right
remember
now.
the cooking streams?
Last time I did a cooking stream, I got yelled at on cooking Twitch
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was
a
fun.
lot.
Oh, I can't remember what they yelled at you about.
I think your dirty kitchen.
It was a little dirty. 4 people live there. I'm sorry.
That's true.
We make compromises.
I remember that apartment. Damn. Good times.
Okay. Well, I'll wait till Mitchell's done with his thing, and then we'll get back into it. God,
keep
tomorrow
watching
I gotta
the
do all my
trailer.
fucking packing.
No,
for-
start talking, Fred. It's okay.
Okay. I gotta do all my packing tomorrow for my trip. I gotta figure out the baggage things and everything. Oh, all right. Let's get back into it, shall we?
Woo.
Kevril, moments before your death, you feel a 45 ACP round pass through your skull.
Okay.
And your last thought is
Just like-
it's just really me. But before that happens, you all enter into the large circular room. This is by far the largest room that you have seen so far. In fact, it is about as long as the hallway that you were just in was, and about twice as wide. You see all manner of different things, points of interest inside of this room. I will describe them as such. It's a large circular room. Immediately in the center, you see suspended high in the air, maybe 50, 60 feet high, is a strange looking object. It appears to be a small, maybe fist-sized gem of sorts. From what you can see, it is dark as the void itself around you. But as you all peer at it, you see within it, briefly, little flits of color. Reds, blues, greens, and yellows that dance around inside of the small diameter of this strange object. That is suspended in the center of the room over what appears to be a large, incomplete set of glowing purple arcane sigils, some of the only chromatic light that you have seen in this place so far, similar to the one outside of the door that you had just opened. Emanating in three pikes almost of dark miasmic black energy towards three tall, standing, crystalline structures similar to the ones that you saw in the room with the fiery crystals. It appears that these dark beams of blackness emanate from this strange object in the center and outwards towards the three crystals that are containing it, perhaps, though not very well, as shadow is pouring strangely from these three crystalline structures. Flits of this black dark energy whiz by you, dance in your eyes as they collide with the walls and disappear from this epicenter. There is all manner of furniture that has been crashed, destroyed, thrown around. Several tables and rugs are ripped up. Flasks and bottles have been shattered upon the ground. A bookcase has been completely overturned, and its pages, the tome's pages have flown everywhere. Immediately to your left, you see that there is a stack of about 10 kegs, as well as several flagons and flasks that have been discarded near them. There are other strange arcane devices that you cannot identify, but they certainly look complex, complicated. And most importantly, you see that there are several holes in the wall and one very large rift open on the right side that is currently being closed by this shimmering purple magic. But you look, well, first you hear the screeches once more of shades, the same creatures that you fought before in the classroom. It appears that they have gathered in droves outside of the windows.
I can't make you a bear again. Are you sure it's that many?
It's
I thought it
actually
was-
it's
I thought it was a
actually
couple less.
more. I'm not gonna make them all.
Well, we're gonna be sure not to let them in.
Yeah.
Can we just hit the cutscene and get out quick?
Let's do the quick time event.
Quick time event. Grab the book.
Yeah, Kevril, you have 5 seconds to type. I really love to go to the beach, starting now.
I think that was.
You
think that
forgot
caught it.
the period. They've sworn.
Oh, come on. That was fast as fuck.
That was pretty fast.
I wouldn't have made it.
I
Okay.
played zombie typing.
Oh,
Typing of the dead.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
House of Dead, but you gotta type. And he's
Yeah.
got the computer on his backpack.
Yeah. I think it was a Dreamcast game.
Wait, can
as
you
well.
send
It
a
was
link
like
of that? I've never heard of this.
It's House
It's
of
an
Dead,
old
but typing.
Sega game.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that. Sounds awesome.
Okay.
Let me-
You all see these things. And there's one more thing that you notice. At the base of this epicenter, there is a tome.
What could that be?
Maybe less a tome and more a collection of research notes strewn and strung together. Hardly published. But it lies open upon the ground.
I will pick it up.
We have to be very careful with what we do here.
You're just gonna.
No, I won't. I won't. I won't. I
Dichotomy.
won't. I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't.
Yes. Because I have a feeling if we go and interact with anything in the center, it's going to let all of them in. Right?
Sure.
I cannot guarantee, but I would
It's-
assume.
It seems
I,
that way.
Do we want to take 10 minutes for me to do a detect magic ritual? Is that?
I think
Is
it's
that in the
pretty
cards?
magical. I'm pretty
that's
sure
what they-
that.
Well, we
Trying
we
to
can
do a lot of magic
see
here.
other magic things and, you know, get the school of magic. I don't know. Just, you know.
Pop a
Well-
squat, DeLorean. Take 10.
I mean, it'll take us a minute to figure out what to do, so you might as well.
I mean, that's
Well,
what I was saying. That could help us figure out what to do. That's what I was
We're here
could
to
be
look for a
invisible.
book.
Well, the book
Like,
is
that's our
right
goal.
there.
Oh, the book is, yeah.
Do we
Where's
know
the
that's the right book?
The book is
We-
clear. I mean, we can go look around, but what other?
Why don't we
There's a
start
whole
here?
bookshelf over here.
I'm gonna start here. DeLorean's gonna look through the bookshelf.
I'm gonna also. I
For
want
the
to help
book.
look through the
I
bookshelf.
mean, if you're going to take 10 minutes, I would start now.
yeah, you do your ritual.
I'll-
start looking for the
I'll-
books.
I'll look
I'm
for,
ritualing.
through the books too.
Ritualing.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk right next to Rosani. I'm not leaving her. I don't feel safe.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll go the other way.
My protector.
What is this on in front of me? This is a tome?
That's just a tome, yeah.
What is it? What's
Not
the
just
title?
any-
Legible? Is it legible just on the ground?
Home
It's,
Sawyer.
it's soaked in shadow.
I see.
And
Okay, I'm
gasoline.
gonna touch that.
Are all of the books soaked in shadow, or
It appears so.
Oh shit.
If not-
Some of them are.
If
Some of them are
not
soaked in
com-
acetone.
If not completely shredded or obliterated or ripped up, yes.
and then what is over here?
That is a workstation with several implements that you do not recognize, as well as many glass tubes and containers and other things.
Okay, how close can I get to this inner circle here? Like, how close can I get to it?
As you get closer and closer to it, Kevril, it's almost as if wind is on your face from the sheer amount of energy that is being harnessed here.
Can I see these like 5 colors in the middle?
Yes, I described them before.
Oh,
Is this
The
is
big
that the
gem.
orb that's like 50 feet in the air?
Yes.
Oh, it's up high. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
catch
it is
that.
floating well above this these purple sigils.
I wonder if, and I'm saying this to those who are next to me,
Mm-hmm.
if releasing these shadow grasps on this orb in the middle will release some kind of colorful, visually colorful emission of some kind, which
That
will
will
also
get
in turn
rid of
get
the
rid
shadows.
of the shades.
It's possible. It might be the thing that's holding the monochromatic area, like, as it is.
It could also be what's holding the shades back. So
That is
That's what I'm
also.
afraid of.
there's a greater risk of
I mean,
potentially.
but also, what else can we do?
I don't
'cause, I
think
mean, we-
there's anything else.
Yeah, we can't really walk towards it, so.
I'm gonna go over this way, Brett, and look at whatever this thing is.
Roll Arcana.
Does me walking over there require me to do this, or just looking at this thing?
Looking at it.
Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah.
You killed him.
Oh, fuck.
Roscoe's
me.
dead.
Alright, let's see. I don't remember what my Arcana is, but I don't think it's great. Yeah, that's 3.
This is the most complicated contraption of levers, switches, plates, slots, and all manner of other components that you have ever seen. You have absolutely zero clue what something like this could ever be used for.
Can I also go over and take a look at it?
Roll Arcana.
15.
This is the most complicated.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Huh.
Is it moving? Is there anything to it that's just off completely?
Completely stationary and inactive.
Okay.
This, Rosani, this is clearly a wizard's contraption. It would take a wizard's knowledge to understand what something like that is used for.
Okay.
Can we get closer to like the
Yeah.
crystals? Or is it the same effect with the wind?
Yeah, you can get closer to them. You see they're similar, but much bulkier and heavier duty than the 3 that you saw in the other room with the beams of energy.
So maybe there's something feeding the shadows in the crystals? Like in the other room.
So removing the crystals is what's gonna do it.
These are like big
You
boy crystals, though.
hear-
We can't move them, right?
You hear from
Maybe.
no source, once again, the voice of Abraham. You know, if you were really there, then I wouldn't exactly want to mess with something like that.
That makes me want to mess with it more.
Because my detect
If only we had Gorn or Flint or just someone who can hit really hard. I guess Otis, you're a monk. You can punch hard, right?
Well, yeah, we should punch it. I don't think we should punch it.
Well, I was thinking I cast a spell magic and then we punch it and maybe try to shatter it while it is inactive.
And if we mess it up, we get swarmed by shades and die.
What else are we gonna do?
Let's look
Yeah,
around the
more.
room a bit more.
Well, we
Get
could
more
lay down
I'm
an
gonna check out.
instruction.
I'm gonna check out this little area with the flagons and the cast.
All right.
Yeah,
Roll,
kegs.
Go over by
roll
this.
investigation.
Thank
We
you.
can do that. If I can find my dice. I'm not gonna find anything.
Oh,
It's an 8.
By chance, you take a whiff of one of the contents of the flagons of ale, or whatever this was. It is more pungent than any of the substances you used to destroy the tendrils in the botany room.
Does it smell like booze?
Yes.
Okay.
Go. Lamb up.
Alright, what's over here on this mat?
A
This
table
table.
and several shattered glasses.
What are these things? Are they like bookshelves or
Bookshelves as well, mostly emptied and destroyed.
nothing of interest?
Not that you can see.
I'm gonna go check out this
Are
thing.
these stabs on the ground? Or are these like long things?
Those
Long
are
stick
stabs upon the ground, yes.
things?
It seems like there were crystals or gems atop them, but judging by the debris around them, they have all shattered upon the ground.
So probably useless. Okay.
I want to see what this thing is.
Roscoe, that is a desk and chair.
Is there anything on the desk or in the area?
You look
Is it just all
through its cabinets. You find several pieces of parchment, a few quills, other supplies. Nothing of note.
Does my detect magic work yet?
Yeah. So you get within 30 feet. So
I'm just going around the room and looking for anything.
I would maybe do the crystals first,
Well,
or
we'll
the
start.
portals, or something.
you know, roughly this. Okay. I'll mark them. All of this here, this force field, abjuration.
Cool.
This here, this crystal thing, abjuration and necromancy.
Exciting.
Figures.
Nothing else within that area.
Well, I could walk around with it. It's still casting the spell. It still lasts a while.
Yeah, okay. I guess you'll just go around the perimeter.
Yep.
Maybe try to get as close as you
Abjuration.
can to the book and see if there's
Abjuration.
anything on that.
Abjuration.
yeah,
Abjuration.
Jungle.
All of the... So going around the room, all of the force fields are abjuration. The 3 crystals are abjuration and necromancy. The sigil, abjuration. The crystal, the object in the center, high above. Technically, it's within 30 feet and it's 50 feet high. So it's not in your range.
Okay.
And he jump.
20 feet.
Can he jump 20 feet high?
No.
Well,
What if I
Can,
triple
can,
his
can
height?
we? How about this? Rosani is gonna get on top of. Well, Rosani is gonna put DeLorean on her shoulders.
This is a terrible
And
idea.
then Rosani is going to get on top of Otis's shoulders.
I do not
And then I will
consent to any
extend
of
my
this.
legs. And I will.
Can't
I will
Otis just extend his legs with him on top of his shoulders too?
I am going to
Yeah,
die.
can't-
This
Yeah,
is
but
the way I
can't
die.
extend-
Rosani's gonna get up here.
20 feet.
This is
Okay,
the way I die.
but like,
Do you want to try that?
can we try
Yes.
it?
I'm trying.
I feel like my
doing it.
life is being endangered.
Oh, what's the worst that could happen? You're gonna fall like 10 feet.
Yeah, maybe
Fall
I
damage.
fall into some.
Hannah, can we do
ghetto
the dirty
stuff.
dancing lift though? Can you run at me and I'll be Patrick Swayze and I'll just lift you guys up?
Yeah, but you don't get any verticality from that. She's
Exactly that.
perpendicular.
No, but she'll be on like kind of an upward reach.
You get some, however long.
But
you
I
do.
also have DeLorean on
So
my
DeLorean's in her
shoulders.
arms.
I am
Yeah,
not
so-
incredibly light.
All right.
That's
Describe to
okay.
me what you're going to
Listen,
try and do.
no, stop,
I am going
Capital-
to.
please.
Wait, Careful's got something to
If
say.
detecting the magic of something that high up were that important, don't you think that there would be either a way to do it or a way to get to it that, like, that would make it
It
way
does involve
easier?
circus.
I-
I
do we
don't
wanna
think
throw
that
DeLorean?
jumping
Do we
up
wanna
to
throw-
I
know what
have
kind
to
of
be-
magical
I have to be
properties
honest.
Okay,
this
I guess
has
we can
really
assume
care
that
about-
it's probably it'd be the same as the crystals, probably.
Everything in this room has
abjuration
been
and
the
necromancy.
same. Everything has been the same thing.
Yeah, it's probably just abjuration
All
and necromancy.
abjuration, maybe a little necromancy. Let's not put
Um,
anybody on top of anything.
Okay. Brett, can
Well,
I
I'll
do an
just say-
Arcana check on the sigil in the middle?
Are these like? Hold on. Are these like stabs? Or are
Hmm,
these
yeah,
magical
can I-
anyway?
They
Those
are stabs, they're
those
broken.
are stabs. They've mostly been broken.
Damn.
luck to do an
you
Arcana
guys
check.
want to roll an Arcana check? Yeah. Which one of you is higher? You can roll with advantage.
I have
Plus 3.
I have
that's
I have
then-
5.
Oh,
Okay.
it's Roscoe.
Let's do it, Roscoe.
I only have
Okay.
+2.
The two of
I
you then,
can-
or the three.
Because I think
Why
if we
does
can
he
finish,
roll with
if we
advantage?
could somehow finish the sigil, I don't know if that'd be possible. I feel like we could just shut these guys out.
Advantage.
What's unfinished about it?
Does it not look unfinished to you?
I mean, Brett
It-
did
it-
say
he
it
said
was unfinished.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
Really?
All right.
Mhm.
Arcana with advantage is 21.
Nice.
Huge.
Roscoe, you take a look at these sigils, and it's clear, though you're not particularly familiar with magic circles. This
Magic
is certainly meant to seal something. And you do see that there are 3 missing runes in them.
Where were the
Yes.
books in the room?
Here,
And there.
here, and here.
Interesting.
But where you would learn of those runes is not immediately clear to you.
This table over where DeLorean
Shadow
is.
book.
Yeah, what's
Do we know what this is?
You already
Those
looked
are
at
trinkets.
that glassware and other
Did,
supplies.
Okay, and this one right here, Brett. This
That's
is what?
bookshelves.
That's bookshelves. Okay. And
did
then-
any of the books in the one water room, like in that one area that didn't have anything, did they have any similar symbols
I think they
on the
were all
outside of
rotten.
those?
I think they
Were
were all
they?
rotten. Unless there might have been one stack we didn't check.
They were
That I'm
all
working
around.
on?
I will
Okay.
tell you this.
It
You
wouldn't be
looked
outside
at-
of this room,
You have looked at everything in this room.
Okay. And
so
then
it's
Brett,
not in this room.
Well,
Are
you
the-
haven't
are
looked
these-
at one thing.
Are these the books? Are these?
Those are just discarded broken
What are these? What are these boxes?
boxes. You open them and they
Um,
have basically nothing except for
what's
old
this?
clothes in them. That is a weird arcane device that who you cannot identify.
What's
Oh,
this
that's
stuff?
Incredibly
Okay,
boozy.
sorry.
That's a desk.
This is
Desk.
desk. Okay. This is desk too, in the
Bookshelves,
corner with my dot
table.
on it.
No, that's a bunch of barrels of incredibly potent booze.
Okay, sorry. I just need to refresh myself.
We
really
looked
quickly.
over at all of these books over here, and they were all either destroyed or covered in shadows.
You have interacted with every single book save for one in the room.
And one in the
Um,
middle. But we can't get to it because of the wind.
You can get to the book. You just have chosen not to touch it so far because you were afeared.
Okay, I feel like we
can-
need to
wait,
all be
I
up
can-
there together when we touch it. I don't
I-
think we should be split up.
I can grab it with Mage Hand.
I think that's a good idea.
I think we should have the high ground over the.
What high ground?
I stand on the
Are we
Are we
bookcase.
gonna?
Isn't the book up 50 feet?
No,
No, that's
the orb with
gem.
Oh,
Yeah.
might be. Got confused.
All
the,
right.
the like
The
scroll.
book's right here.
look
Yeah, the
thing.
book's here. Gems up there.
We need to take
Alright.
the high ground.
So let's
Yeah.
grab it with the mage hand. Bring it. Oh, I don't know if we should. Well, I guess it's a broken thing.
So is the
Well-
book in the? Where's the book that we're looking for? In the
It's
in
middle.
the
right
center.
underneath the
Book
gem.
lower level middle. Gem upper level middle.
Where was
Okay.
the book name? It was Inception, Stabilization, and Termination of Extraplanar Gateways.
I mean, do we just grab it and read it fucking
I'm gonna-
quick and try and
well-
finish the sigil before they come in?
Yes.
Is that-
So we gotta go.
that's-
One
Is-
step
I-
at a time, because we might
Yeah.
be okay if we grab it.
I don't think we're gonna be okay if we grab
We
it.
might be.
I think we'll be alright.
Roscoe, look
I
at
am
how
an
many. Look
optimist.
at
I'm
Roscoe.
going
I
to go-
think
Okay, I'm
that
gonna
if we break
Hold on.
the seal on the stone up top, that's what's gonna
I agree.
fuck everything.
Think you
Okay.
might
Book
be right.
itself, I don't think is going to
Okay.
change
Okay,
anything.
well,
I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Wait. Do we need to lay down any protection? Do we have any like
We'll be
wards
okay.
or anything? Okay. All right, fine.
No, we
I-
don't.
Hear once more a voice disconnected from a body. When you're going to do what you're about to do, just be wary of the title of what you're reading. You don't want to write anything incorrectly. But be warned. The moment you write something, well, that thing in the center is a source of great power. It seems those force fields are sourceless, save for, well, I'll let you surmise that. You may want to be prepared.
Or we just solve the puzzle correctly. Okay.
Okay. So
All right. You have the book.
the name of the book is Inception, Stabilization, and Termination of Extraplanar Gateways.
Okay, Brett, what's the name of the book that
So-
the mage hand got?
Well, I
That
haven't
was
picked
it?
it up
Well,
yet. I haven't
oh.
grabbed it yet.
Oh, I thought you grabbed it. My bad. I thought you grabbed
So
it.
we
I
need-
thought I got interrupted before I grabbed it.
We need
So-
my bad.
termination.
Termination of extraplanar gateway. So basically closing.
We need the
Other
termination
gateways.
chapter.
That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm
So,
just confused about the inception stabilization. So
I-
stabilizing the creation of
I'm guessing it's about opening and closing portals to different.
creation,
Planes.
stabilizing, and termination of expert.
Yeah, like comma.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
missed
yes.
All the different steps.
I was missing commas.
Inception, stabilization, and
Yeah.
Yes.
We got a thumbs
Alright,
up.
yes.
We got-
we got there. We got there.
I didn't understand that. That's what we were confused about. I was just like sitting here, just like looking at my character sheet, and I was like not listening. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, it's
Commas.
yeah.
Okay,
Look,
so
grab it.
we're looking. We're going to the back of the book. All right, I'm gonna grab it. Is everyone ready?
I am. Ready.
Do we want to position ourselves anywhere? In case.
I
guess-
might
DeLorean, you might
move
want to position
over
yourself
this
away
way.
from the big hole.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna go.
grab-
We're gonna go close to
Donnie,
the,
I'll
like,
go
Wait,
here.
wait,
to
wait,
the
wait,
exit.
wait.
Close to the exit. Close to the exit.
Before we do this, where is it? I did just take this. Where is it? What level is it?
Beans and rice. Beans and rice. Beans and beans and beans and
You
rice.
can,
Oh yeah.
where? Here it is.
Tim hit the gritty.
Oh yeah.
I don't
I'm going to cast
do that.
Beacon of Hope.
of
Actually, I'm going to wait on this until
They come in.
if they come in, but I'm going to hold Beacon of Hope until the instant all of the teleportation things drop.
Okay.
And basically, for the duration for a minute, each target has advantage on Wisdom saving throws and Death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing.
Okay.
We'd
So,
love to hear it. Okay.
More like beacon of cope.
Okay.
Is everyone ready?
so I'm just going to use that spell slot, Brett.
Okay.
Whenever
Yes,
the portals drop
that's fine.
and they come in.
Do it.
Okay.
Roscoe,
right now.
what do you?
I'm going to grab the book. I'm gonna cast Mage Hand. I'm just gonna woo it over.
It's like the ghost
Pick up-
devil with Himeno.
You
I'm gonna pick up the
grab.
book and pull it back.
You pull the book towards you.
Eh.
It is in your hands. You see on the title, hastily scrawled, Inception, Stabilization, and Termination of Extraplanar Gateways. O.
Holy
Johnson.
Fuck.
All right. You got the book. I'm gonna pause for a minute. and
So
cautiously
you do remember
wait for
that
anything to
this is all
happen.
being streamed.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Recorded.
I'm
Your,
guessing.
your children are gonna see this.
Who said we're gonna have those with climate change?
True.
I'm waiting a bit. Does anything happen?
It's just a book.
Okay. I'm gonna flip through the chapters trying
Nothing
to
ever
find.
bad came from reading a book.
I'm gonna try to
Uh,
find termination. The termination chapter.
Roscoe, go ahead and roll.
It's all written in
Arcana for me.
Swahili.
Roll your fastest reading check.
Come on, Roscoe. Speed read.
What's your
Uh,
word type
not-
per minute?
19.
Nice.
That's a pretty good read.
Roscoe, you read through a few sections of the tome as you look near the back towards termination. This is well and far the most complex thing that you have ever read. Although this is merely a collection of research notes, it seems, the person who wrote this, presumably the Octavia Johnson, was nothing short of a genius. This is clearly the culmination of years and years of work. It's incredibly well put together despite being just a collection of notes. You read concepts in here, most of these words, despite your intellect and knowledge of wordplay, you simply don't recognize. These are just so out of the common tongue for anyone other than the most learned of arcane scholars that it barely reads as common to you. In fact, it's almost closer to Gnomish in its syntax. But you do glean two important pieces of information as you come upon the termination chapter.
One.
Piece of information 1. Extraplanar gateways are incredibly powerful, and they can often act as the source of power for a spell independent of a caster. But upon termination, any spells sourced by this power may be dissipated if there is no one left to maintain it. And piece of information 2. You believe that you will be able to figure out which sigils to draw, but they are very complex, and there are several to choose from correctly. It will take you... I'll give you a DC. It will take you a DC 15 Arcana check for each sigil to determine the correct one to write, and an action to write it.
So 2 actions per
Would
sigil?
we be able to give him help?
Because you're just reading a book, I'm going to say no.
What if we all read it together aloud?
What if we popcorn?
How are you going to
Wait, yeah,
enunciate
what if we
a
popcorn?
sigil?
Yeah, I feel like this is like trying to read a physics textbook out loud.
Yeah.
There's
Like-
got to be something
Like
else
reading a
to this.
derivation.
There has to be more to this, or at least
Right.
maybe we read a little bit. What are the other 2 titles?
Inception and
stabilization.
stabilization.
Do we, maybe
So
stabilization?
creating and stabilizing. It might be stabilizing, but I'm worried that if we stabilize them, they will become full portals
Well,
and the shadows will be able
The
to come through.
information that we received was that if the magic is separate from somebody and it were to be terminated, all of the things
Spell will
holding that
stop.
magic
Yeah.
will stop unless it is sustained by another source.
So,
So,
if we do
There-
termination,
if
there is some-
break.
If there's a caster present to pick up the spell, because otherwise, I feel like if we were to like dissipate the magic on the gem, that's gonna shut, that'll shut down the gateway, but then that's gonna shut the portal down or the gates, and then they're gonna come in. So I feel like we need to maintain the spell. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
We're not even sure if terminating
So
Wait,
this
hold on.
will even do what we want it to do.
Do we even need to do anything? We have the book for Abraham.
That's kind of facts. We could just
I'm
dip
gonna-
with the book.
Why
I'm
don't
just
we
gonna stand
read
up.
Inception
but-
as well?
Hold on. I'm just gonna stand up with the book, hold it up, just kind of yell up into the void. Abraham, we have your book. Can we go? We have what you sent us to get.
That is big facts.
Yeah, that is correct. But
is big
that's
facts.
but that's not how the story went.
Okay, we can't fourth wall break again.
Okay.
All right.
We tried.
Okay.
I think that was a
do you
good
just-
effort.
Do we just want to? Do you want to? Roscoe, do you want to try and pass the check and draw the
No,
sigil?
hold on.
I think we need to figure out what ones to draw first.
I think. I don't know. It
Could-
might be simpler than that, but I also don't want us all to just fucking die. so-
Maybe see which sigils are already written down and see if we can match them to sigils that are in the book and see what they were trying to do, whether it's create portals or stabilize
Yeah.
them or close them.
True. Try to find
Yeah.
Try to match what they were doing.
We'll just do that, Brad. You can
from
tell us the
my
answer.
reading of the termination chapter, or what I was able to glean from the termination chapter, do I recognize any of the symbols? Like, do I recognize the pattern of these symbols, or like any of these symbols from the chapter that I just read?
You take a look at them. Roll another Arcana check.
Oh, my Arcana skills really come in handy today. That's an 8. I could use my inspiration, but I don't think it's a good use of it.
I feel like you should save it just in case.
If I have to actually make this.
Save it for your death saving throw.
Okay,
Yeah.
advantage.
Roscoe, you take a look at all three of these, and after a few minutes, it's obvious. You know all three of which to draw on these.
I think I figured it out.
Are you sure?
I feel pretty confident.
Because. Okay.
Okay.
If you're confident.
Come here, double check me.
Sure.
So I'm gonna pull up the book. I'm gonna show, kind of walk
Show
her
your
through my
work.
thought process. I'm gonna show her my work in the book. So does this make sense?
Let the
There's
math
only
check
roll
out.
Intelligence.
I could roll. Can I roll? Can I roll? Can I roll? I want to be considered a brain of the group.
Are you guys?
Intelligence
you-
15.
I have a 16
Yeah.
intelligence.
Go ahead and roll, Otis. You can look
Yes.
too.
I just need to know my math checks out.
Rolled
All
a
right,
15.
I rolled a 16. Yes.
Okay.
Wow, we both rolled our intelligence scores.
The
Teamwork.
two of you take a look. As far
Yeah.
as you can follow the logic, it seems right to you.
Sounds good. Looks good, Roscoe.
Right?
Why did your Otis voice change so much?
You know,
That's his math checking voice.
that's the check voice.
He's returning to Modi.
All right.
Oh yes.
All right.
It's
Just
the
keep,
beeps.
keep a steady hand.
All right. We
Hold
don't
on.
have anything to write with.
Oh, that's
There's the
true.
vials and stuff. Is that in the corner?
Oh, that's right. He would have had the chalk. Here.
Wait, actually,
Piece
So
of
it
purple
just-
chalk drops from nothingness.
Wait,
hits the ground in front.
wait! Is this the one purple chalk? What is it?
is that the one that'll let us into the chalk zone?
Chalk zone, please.
Chalk.
Aw.
All right.
What is it? Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Yeah, it's Harold.
Great,
Harold's here,
great.
actually. Hey, guys! Ah! He's taken Fry the Shades. Through the
Oh, poor Harold.
All right.
Damn. I'm gonna. Okay. Do we have a? What kind of check is this gonna be again? Did you say?
Well, it was an Arcana
Well,
to figure out
Arcana.
each of them, but I figured out each of them. So I
Okay.
just
Roscoe's
need to
already
take
figured
an
out each of
action.
them, so it
each-
simply takes an action to write it.
And there's no
Alright.
check to draw them.
I'm
It just
worried
takes an
that
action.
taking
Okay.
an action might start something. Let's see what
Well,
happens.
we know what we're doing. I know what I'm
Well,
doing.
Yeah, I know, but like
Rosani and-
maybe filling out each sigil.
I am
Okay.
going
Okay,
to
hold on.
prepare
Wait,
my
wait,
beacon
wait.
of hope in case
Right.
those
Do we want to try to
things
write?
drop.
Do we want to try to write all three at the same time then?
We only
We
have
only
one
have
chalk.
one chalk.
How
That's
big
I'm
is
the
the
only
chalk?
one who really knows
You
how to
Can we
write
break
it.
it? Can we break it?
It's pretty small.
Just let him do it.
I'll
just
just
do
write
one
it.
at a
We're
time.
overthinking.
All
it.
right. I'm gonna go write the first sigil.
Okay.
You die.
If they drop Brett, Beacon of Hope goes up instantly.
Okay. Roscoe, you take an action. Zoo, 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 zoo. You write, you look at the book, and write the first sigil. And you watch, all of you watch, as the inner bar, this third of the arcane circle, begins to glow bright purple and shine. As the beams of darkness from these three giant crystalline structures begin to lessen, and the object in the middle begins to shift a little less rapidly. You all watch as upon doing that, two of the force fields in the center of the room drop, as well as cracks beginning to form and a hole
Oh!
in the larger one.
I know I should have prepared that.
Roscoe,
So,
Shit.
just 1 second. Roscoe, you're not worried, of course,
Confident.
because you know the other two sigils to draw. But when you look back at the arcane circle in the center, you begin to see that the sigils on the remaining two are shifting and changing. You quickly take a look at the tome once more, and it seems like in whatever section you read that you could not make heads or tails of with the complex language, you missed the transient state of these circles. They are not maintained in their same state for very long, and it seems like you will have to determine each time which sigil to draw. Unfortunately, that matter is complicated by the fact that at the sound of several loud, ear-piercing screeches, the shadows begin to pour in through the gateways that have now been closed due to the reduction of arcane power in the center of the room. The shades begin to pour in with one goal in mind: to sap the life's energy from all of you before you are able to completely seal away whatever artifact this is. You all prepare yourselves for combat, and Roscoe, you prepare to be the best goddamn arcane speed reader this dimension has ever seen.
Shit. Oh shit. Okay.
so
I'm so glad I prepared this spell. Holy fuck.
I'm so glad I'm going to stick on Roscoe as much as I can to just protect him.
I feel like I'm gonna. Yeah, I feel like we surround Roscoe high key.
You can do that, but you will have to do it. You will have to do it next
fuck.
session
Damn.
because we're
Wait,
hitting
we're not-
we're hitting the 4-hour mark.
Okay.
Am I allowed to cast anything on Roscoe before the
We are
combat?
going to deal with that next session because I'm
That's
not
fine
going to
then.
remember it.
But Beacon of Hope is up.
We remind me when we start, but yeah, Beacon of Hope we will deal with the initiative rolls and everything next time we play.
Roscoe, remind me. I
I'm
want to
ready
give
to cast
you.
Moonbeam at 5th level and just...
Oh.
So Roscoe,
Chad.
Roscoe has to do checks to do the thing, right?
Yes.
I want to cast enhance ability so he does get advantage.
Okay. We will
Next time,
remember
remind me.
to do all these things.
I'm
Yeah.
writing notes.
Write your notes.
Sweet.
All right.
Enhance ability.
So everyone, that is where we are going to end tonight's session. Thank you for joining us. That was the
man.
collective session 72. If you're watching us for the first time, we hope you enjoyed and that you come back. If you're watching us again, thanks for following the previous request. if you're a player watching this from the future, or if you're another member of the community, hey,
Sorry about
Thanks.
the audio.
Boy, I sure
sorry
hope
about
if
the
you're a
audio in
pl-
the first half.
I sure hope if you're a player watching this from the future, it's not to remember the last moments of your characters.
That would
And
be really sad.
and finally, if you're Wizards of the Coast, fuck you.
Wow.
Or the
Nice.
jungle. This has been the Collective Session 72. Everyone, thank you and good night. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Good